Good afternoon and welcome to News Talk 105.9 WMAL, where we are making sense of the news. It's the Vince Coglianese Show. I'm not Vince. No, I'm Vince's producer, Corey Inganamort. And it's a great honor to be with you this day after Thanksgiving, Friday holiday, Black Friday if you're celebrating, out shopping, getting all those good deals. I hope you're listening to WMAL on your way to Target, Walmart, wherever you shop these days. I saw Target has Merry Christmas messaging. Did you see that? Maybe they got the messaging. Apparently, the first time in 10 years, they're saying Merry Christmas in Target. It's okay to say that now. Donald Trump is going to become president in a couple days. That's awesome. Let me hear about your holidays. Give me a call, 888-630-9625, 888-630-WMAL. What are you thankful for? There's so much to be thankful for this end of November, Thanksgiving weekend. I want to hear from you. And if you had an example of a Thanksgiving dinner yesterday, would you have like a crazy liberal aunt who you got in a political argument with? Any crazy Aunt Sally's out there or Uncle Tommy's? You know, the media and Joy Reid keeps telling us, oh, avoid these people. And, don't talk to your Trump-supporting family members. They're just bringing on, terrible things to you. They're wishing terrible things upon black people, gay people. Why would you ever share and break bread with them? Do you have any of those crazy family members? Did you share dinner with them yesterday? Give me a call. I want to hear what that experience was like. 888-630-9625, 888-630-WMAL. What am I thankful for? I'm thankful for so much this holiday season. My friends, my family. Shout out to my mom, by the way. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday to Sandy. She's down in Florida right now. My friends, my job here at WMAL, working with Vince Coglianese daily. It's just an absolute pleasure to work with. Dave Kimber on the board right now. Just a great guy. Bill Hess, our boss. Never, ever, ever has he ever told anybody what to say, what to think, what is valuable to say on air. We have so much freedom here at Cumulus, and I'm so thankful for that. We really have all the freedom in the world. But November 5th, we obviously have a lot of things to be thankful for. We have help is on the way. Donald Trump will be taking office January 20th, just a mere 50 some odd days from now. I think it's 52 days from today. And boy, the adults are back in charge. I'm thankful for Elon Musk for saving Twitter and restoring free speech. If it wasn't for him, he's getting a lot of crap from the media right now. He's so buddy-buddy with Donald Trump. And yeah, they really seem to have formed a close relationship. They actually are friends. They enjoy each other's company. They're hanging out in Mar-a-Lago last night, eating turkey, dancing to YMCA. CNN had an absolute meltdown over that. I'll play that audio in a little bit. But Elon Musk deserves our thanks, because if it wasn't for him and opening up free speech, we would have no idea what the heck's going on in this country if it wasn't for him. I mean, you get your news from WMAL here, News Talk Radio, but the mainstream media is not going to tell you what is actually happening. And faith in the mainstream media is at an all-time low. I think 32%, according to a Gallup poll, trust the mainstream media. So thank you, Elon Musk, for restoring free speech, getting the facts out to the people. I'm happy that we're actually going to have a border in 52 days. The so-called Kamala Harris, the border czar. She's in charge of closing the border. She says it's just about root causes, but what are the root causes? Did she ever tell us? She had 4 years to figure it out. She's never told us. So I'm thankful that she's leaving office. Border czar Tom Homan, he takes no prisoners. He will close that border, and we finally have the adults back in charge. I'm finally happy that we're going to have a president that knows where he is. He knows how to exit the stage. He doesn't look like a Roomba after every time he finishes a statement, looking around the room. Where do I go? Where do I go? We don't have the Easter Bunny directing him as an escort of where to go when leaving the White House at the Easter egg roll. Finally. This is great news. So much to be thankful for. We no longer have Kamala Harris telling us over and over again that she grew up in the middle class. How are you going to fix the economy? Well, I grew up in the middle class. We never have to hear that again. And if we do, we laugh in their face and say, you lost, the American people rejected you. I can't wait for that. And I'm so happy we never, ever have to see another one of those stupid little camo Harris Walls hats again. It was so fake to begin with. They picked Tim Walz because he's some folksy hero, really resonates with the men and the hunters and the real rugged country folk. Nobody ever believed that, but they forced it down our throats saying, this is the guy that men are really, really going to migrate to. And he's the guy with the camel. He doesn't even know how to use a shotgun. He's like, I'm an avid hunter. He had no idea how to load his shotgun. And then he was caught on a hot mic having no idea what the terms he was even talking about. So we'll never have to hear that guy again. We'll never have to see him walk on stage waving with both hands. You know, he waves with both hands. He's just so masculine. He's really going to resonate with the men. The only people who wave with both hands are mascot performers, literally mascot performers. And I compare Tim Walz to a mascot performer. As a former mascot performer, it's offensive to mascots to compare them to Tim Walz. But that's what he is. He's America's mascot that nobody liked, nobody asked for. It's like if the New York Yankees ever had a new mascot. Like, nobody wants that. It's just a sideshow. We don't want that. I'm really happy we'll never have to see Doug Emhoff again, the one who impregnates the nanny, slaps his ex-girlfriend around. Every time I see him on TV or speaking, it just gives me that cringe. Like, we'll never have to see that again. Minnesota won't have to suffer from the absurd tampon Tim Walz just being a regular guy. It's over with. Never have to see him try to load a gun and those stupid little corny country folk narrative that they had for him. We have so much to look forward to in the sense that we don't have to pretend that a transgender quote-unquote woman is actually a woman. And it's okay to say that. Have you seen, we've always said it, but it's become normalized now, finally, to speak out against this. We don't have to use those fake language and those fake words and those fake science. We're voicing our opinions now, voicing our facts, and we're not being canceled for it. We won't have to see Rachel Levine anymore telling us that, transgender, gender-affirming care is health care. Or Sam Brinton, the freak show at the White House, the bald guy who was stealing luggages dressed as a woman. We'll never have to see that again. What are you thankful for never having to see again? 888-630-9625. Give me a call, 888-630-WMAL. Another thing I'm thankful for is we're going to see a whole lot less of Volodymyr Zelensky begging for money at the Capitol. I don't think he's going to be invited as often and praised when he comes here. Sucking on the taxpayer money, U.S. taxpayer money to send overseas to a cause that have never been actually explained to us how it benefits Americans. Never. You see the media screaming about the tariff situation right now, how Donald Trump is threatening tariffs on Mexico and Canada. You better close your border down or we're going to tariff the hell out of you. 25%, 50%, 70%. Keeps going. Everyone's like, oh, my God, the price of avocados are going to go up. How are we ever going to? Well, do you remember back when, Russia and Ukraine were at the height of the war and the lefties were saying, well, I don't care if gas prices are a little bit higher because at least we're helping Ukraine in the just war that they have against Russia. I don't mind spending $100 to fill our gas because it's the right thing to do. Again, for a cause that was never explained to us how it actually benefits us. So I'm excited to see a whole lot less of Volodymyr Zelensky. We'll never ever have to see Oprah or Michelle Obama or Beyonce. All these people who come into the, all on TV, all these rallies, and they say, hey, vote for Kamala Harris. Why? Well, because, I don't know, she's popular. She's popular. There's no reason anymore. Well, the media, the celebrities, they have no effect whatsoever because people get their own source of news from X, formerly known as Twitter, from WMAL, and it just doesn't matter what celebrities tell us anymore. They are completely irrelevant forever from this time moving forward. I'm thankful for that. We won't have to see Megan Thee Stallion twerking on stage as a reason to vote for Kamala Harris. We'll never have to see that again. And I think in future campaigns, 4 years from now, 8 years from now, I don't think they'll be invited because that kind of show, it just doesn't work. People are sick of it. No, thank you. So I'm thankful for all of that. We dodged the biggest bullet I could ever imagine. Kamala Harris. We'll never have to listen to this again, for example.
Grew up understanding the children of the community are the children of the community. we all believe that when we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community.
Yeah, the children of the community, or the passage of time, or it's time to do what we've been doing, and that time is every day. We'll never have to hear that again. I'm very thankful, very, very thankful for that. We'll never have to see Mayor Pete go on an extended maternity leave again. In his condescending attitude. The only one more condescending, I think, than Barack Obama is probably Pete Buttigieg. You know, we spent how many billions of dollars trying to get those electric vehicles, charging stations up and running. And what did we get? 8 of them? 8 of them? That was their big Green New Deal plan. It never came to fruition. No. I'm also thankful that Mitch McConnell will not be the Senate Majority Leader anymore. We can finally look forward to a Senate, hopefully, and John Thune needs to prove himself first before I give him any faith. But Mitch McConnell was a detriment to the America First cause. So thankful he won't be there. What are you thankful? Don in Alexandria is calling on line 2. Don, welcome to the Vince Coglianese Show.
Good to hear your voice. I am just so thankful for, and this may sound odd, but for Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Senator Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona. Those two refused to go along with their Democrat colleagues and get rid of the Senate filibuster. And that was at a time that if they could have done that, Lord knows what the Democrats might have passed. Things like statehood for Puerto Rico and the District of Columbia. Things like the Supreme Court filling that with 13 and putting in a majority of liberal justices. I am so thankful that those two kept their principles and refused to eliminate the filibuster. And there's videos of them explaining that to their colleagues, and those really ought to be in every schoolroom and government 101 kind of course.
Yep. Yeah, and they ran out of town for it because they'll no longer be in the Senate next term. Their base, their Democrat progressive base, said, no, we don't want any more of that. Joe Manchin had a couple pro-energy comments to say, and they're like, nope, we're done. So they're gone, and well, at least in Joe Manchin's case, he'll be replaced by a Republican. Thankful for that. Unfortunately, Ruben Gallego will replace Kyrsten Sinema in Arizona. But good point, Don. Thank you. Have a very, very happy rest of your Thanksgiving weekend.
Thanks, Corey.
Of course. Cynthia is in West Virginia, line 1. Cynthia, welcome to the Vince Coglianese Show.
Hey, Corey, thank you for filling in for Vince. It's always good to hear your voice on his show. I am very thankful that the Obama era is over because all this madness started in 2008.
You're darn right about that. It sure did. The divisiveness, the battle among the race divisions. He really leaned into the DEI and the color of your skin. He's gone. And what's great about the Obama reign being over, it's the fact that he really has no political influence anymore. The candidates that he backs, they never really gain traction. Barack Obama campaigning for someone else, Barack Obama's a skilled politician. And by comparison, Kamala Harris was nobody compared to Barack Obama. So when he's on the campaign trail, campaigning for someone other than him, which, by the way, he has a problem with because his ego is so large, he just can't bring himself to really fully endorse someone. That's why he scolded black men for not fully getting on board with Kamala Harris, as they did with my campaign. His opinion doesn't matter anymore. I wonder how soon he leaves D.C. He's been living here for so long. Now that he no longer has power and running a shadow presidency, he always said, I'd like to be a phone call away. Now that he has no power, I wonder if he's going to actually move out of D.C. That would be nice. I'd like him to get out of our hometown. More of your calls, a Joy Reid meltdown, and CNN is really, really upset that Elon Musk was at Mar-a-Lago last night celebrating Thanksgiving. All right, I'm taking your phone calls all show today. Let's have some fun on a Friday, holiday weekend. Ivan is in Florida on line 1. Let's go to Ivan. How's it going?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Glad to hear you're calling in today. How's it going, Ivan?
A happy day after Thanksgiving.
To you as well.
Listen. Hey, listen, the list just goes on and never stops, okay? All the stuff we've had to put up for the last 4 years, the masks, we won't have to see herd looting anymore. We won't have to see twerking in kids' faces anymore. the mass migration, we won't have to see Liz Cheney with a gavel anymore. And we won't even have to see pregnant men anymore. the list just goes on and never stops. But anyway, it's a great day, and thank God that Trump won.
Amen. Lots to be thankful
All right.
for. Thank you,
Right.
God, and thank you, Ivan.
God
Happy
bless.
Thanksgiving.
God bless.
You as well. And we got time for another phone call. Ed is in Fredericksburg. Ed, welcome to the Vince Coglianese Show.
Well, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing
It's a wonderful
fantastic.
day after Isn't it a wonderful day? I'm thankful that this cabal, the media, has had in cahoots, I guess, with the socialist far-left Democrat Party is coming to an end and collapsing right in front of us. And it's always kind of confused me because these corporations, MSNBC is a perfect example, that is owned, it has shareholders, boards, the whole 9 yards, evil CEOs, and they're all engaged in the business of putting down capitalism. But they're involved in capitalism, and so it's always just confused me. I'm glad to see it coming to an end.
Me too, Ed. Great point. Yeah, MSNBC, they're in a little bit of hot water right now because it was just revealed by the Free Beacon. Al Sharpton, the Reverend, he took $500,000 from Kamala Harris to conduct that interview a couple of weeks before the election. They're facing a lot of backlash for that, and they should. Your calls, more media meltdown, so much more after this break. 3:36 here, News Talk 105.9 WMAL, where we are making sense of the news. I'm Corey Inganamort, Vince Coglianese's producer. It's my pleasure and honor to be with you on this cold afternoon. It's cold outside. I'm ready for spring already. Can't stand this weather. But I'd love to talk to you. 888-630-9625, 888-630-WMAL. How was your Thanksgiving? What are you thankful for? Did you have a crazy liberal aunt, liberal uncle get in an argument with last night? I would love to hear one of those stories. Please give me a call. 888-630-9625. Joy Reid, Joyless Reid, as the great Chris Plants calls her, she had a problem with the idea that, well, her liberal friends would ever get together with Trump supporters for Thanksgiving dinner. She said they shouldn't even join them.
These are the people who say the undocumented, who they get to call illegal immigrants, like the Pilgrims had permission to come here, have to suffer the consequences of their actions, right? They made the choice to overstay their visas or come into our country illegally, so if they get deported, consequences. But you right-wingers shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of your votes? You don't want to be around me because I voted for fascism. No fair. I'm coughing on you with COVID, but you want me to wear a mask for your safety? No fair. My body, my choice. Well, here's an alternative thought. Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone. You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of, and worship instead of Jesus. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers. See? You did it just by voting this time. Congrats. You got your way. And he even got away with breaking the law. Yay. But if you expect the 73 million who voted for the prosecutor, not the felon, and particularly the 92% of black women who voted for Kamala to give you a cookie for your vote, a trophy, a hug, a high five, you might be asking too much. If we want to eat with you, we will. But if we just want some peace over the holidays and we don't want to put up with your trolling while we eat our tofurkey, get over it. Stop acting like we owe you, and for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing. Our Thanksgiving, our choice.
Is any Trump supporter out there acting like they are owed something from the leftists? Just another unhinged rant by Joyless Reed. That's another thing I'm thankful for, that she's miserable right now. That actually makes me happy. I'm very thankful for that. Joy Reid has had a rough couple of weeks, and MSNBC is in the gutter because of it. Whew, they are struggling right now. You see Elon Musk has teased potentially buying them. I don't know if he's serious or not, but Don Jr. said, yeah, Elon, I've got the funniest idea ever, when he was tweeting about MSNBC, and he responded, how much is it? Well, that's exactly the way it started when he bought Twitter. He said, how much is it? There's nothing to say that he's going to move forward with this and buying MSNBC, but my spidey senses are up. He may be interested. If you're the richest man in the world, you might as well do something funny with your money. That would be awesome. I'd be okay with that. So Joy Reid's having a rough time out there, still having a very hard time coping with Donald Trump's victory. So is CNN, the other leftist network. You saw Elon Musk hanging out with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago last night. If you haven't seen the video, it's pretty awesome. They're all dancing to YMCA. Barron Trump is to Donald Trump's left. Here's a little bit of that audio from the video. You can't see what they're doing, but everyone's just having a grand old time. It's a room full, probably 100, 150 people or so. Anyway, that's a little bit of the audio, but they're all just having a grand old time. They're all dancing around, having a good time. Seems like a great party to me. I would like to be there, but Elon Musk is there right next to Donald Trump. They are buddies. Have you seen how close they've become? It's kind of cool to see the bromance kind of take form. You know, Elon Musk wasn't the biggest Donald Trump fan a year ago. Remember he said he wants normal when he said, you know, will you endorse either Joe Biden or Donald Trump? He kind of delayed on that, kind of kicked the football down the road a little bit. He said, well, I just want normal. So he wasn't ready to endorse Donald Trump. And then the assassination attempt happened in the field in Butler on July 13th, which is another thing I meant to say earlier. I'm so thankful that God spared Donald Trump's life that day. That chart, he looked to his right and spared his life just because of it. Another thing to be very, very thankful for. But CNN was having a really, really hard time with the optics last night of Elon Musk. Very powerful, rich man, obviously. And Jim Acosta is very worried about the influence that he has over the White House right now. Listen to this unhinged rant last night. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That was this morning of Jim Acosta with a guest covering Elon Musk at Mar-a-Lago.
Both of you about some video. If you haven't seen this video yet of Elon Musk getting chummy with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago for Thanksgiving, they were apparently dancing in their chairs to YMCA. And, you know, there's Barron Trump next to the president-elect, but there's Elon Musk right next to him in his sweater, I think, and a blazer. But, you know, Tara, I mean, this does raise a lot of questions about what Elon Musk's role will be in this incoming administration. I mean, just this week, he has been targeting federal employees on X. He has been going after people like Colonel Alexander Vindman, accusing him of treason the other day on X. And he's been given this very big platform with the government, according to Donald Trump. He's going to be finding areas to cut in the federal government. What do you make of this relationship right now?
It's all really creepy, but money talks, and it's clear that Elon Musk has a motive here. He sees by cozying up to Donald Trump, he's going to have influence in ways that he's never had before. Not just being he's had a lot of influence being the richest man in the world. But this is a whole different thing. He's literally taking on the role of, favorite son, first lady, and shadow president. This is scary stuff for people. And Elon Musk has no business having a security clearance, all of these government contracts, and now this level of influence with the president of the United States. It's all dysfunctional. These guys are going through this like group trauma therapy session with each other. And the fact that Elon Musk is the guest that won't leave and that Donald Trump continues to give him this role it speaks volumes. Why wasn't Elon Musk with his own family? Where is that? This is his new family now. This is his new project, because he's so emotionally stunted that this is making him feel relevant. And the fact that as a country and in the world, geopolitics are going to be influenced by this guy going through whatever psychosis of, processing he's going through should scare the hell out of everybody, because this is not just in the but they're influencing and trying to target people also in other countries. This is not just here in the U.S. with this intimidation factor. So the tentacles of this are really, really long. We should keep paying attention to it. I'm glad that we are now.
So just a completely unhinged rant about Elon Musk. No evidence whatsoever that, everything that they're claiming him to be, a Russian asset, no evidence whatsoever. They are having a hard time. Alexander Vindman, you heard Jim Acosta talk about him a bit in that audio. Alexander Vindman, remember, he worked as a Ukraine expert on the National Security Council under Donald Trump. I'm sorry, Barack Obama. He testified in Trump's 2019 impeachment hearings. He maintains he has never taken any money from Ukrainian oligarchs, but he did run a nonprofit for aid in Ukraine's defense of Russia. He's got a lot of ties to Ukraine. I think there needs to be a lot of investigations into him and his brother Eugene, who unfortunately just became a congressman representing Virginia's 10th congressional district. So Vindman Alexander was on MSNBC talking about Elon Musk, and he just threw out this completely unverified statement that Elon Musk must be giving state secrets to Russia. Just completely made that up.
Clearly, Putin has a type. He likes narcissists and egomaniacs that he knows as a case officer he could easily pander to and manipulate to do his dirty work. We are under attack. Russia has been using different levers, whether that's corruption networks. In this case, it's influencers like Donald Trump, like Elon Musk, to really kind of sow discord. And it's particularly troubling with Elon Musk in this case because Elon Musk has access to state secrets. He has top secret security clearance. It's possible that some of that is seeping through. Putin has been very effective in playing both Trump and Elon, and he's been using the richest man in the world to do his bidding. In some cases, that's encouraging him probably to support Donald Trump. That's not speculation. We see how far in Elon has gone.
So it's not speculation, completely unverified that he would say that. But it's Elon Musk who has is the threat. Somehow. It makes completely no sense. Dan is calling in from Fauquier County on line 1. He wants to weigh in on this subject. Dan, welcome to the Vince Colonnais Show.
Howdy. I wanted to explain a little bit my opinions about why defensive. Basically, it has nothing to do with helping Ukraine. We're basically using them as proxies against Russia. Now, I was born during the Korean War, and all my life, Russia's been referred to as the threat. And they're still the threat. They still have more nuclear weapons than we do. And, their economy is collapsing right now because of our help to Ukraine. We really need to cancel Russia. Another thing is that it's kind of
Dan,
profitable.
But before you go on, what is the cost though to the U.S. taxpayer? When is too much? And was it not universally accepted 2, 3, 4 years ago that Ukraine is probably one of the most corrupt countries in the world? At what point is it we need an accounting of whatever we're sending over there? We need to see where it's going, how it's being used, and it to actually be explained to the U.S. taxpayer how it's helping Americans.
I certainly agree with all that, although I don't think there's really any evidence that the Ukraine is the most corrupt. I think there are a lot of other. Now, clearly, they have a tradition, sort of a cultural tradition, just like Russia does, of political corruption. But I think they're trying hard to weed that out because of the requirements for entry into NATO. But
Dan, the leaders in Ukraine are getting rich. CNN even reported on it. How there's just no accounting whatsoever. They're driving around in Bugattis and taking vacations, and I actually don't agree with you that it's cleaning up and it's not as corrupt as it used to be.
Well, there's a reliable source, CNN. I don't believe
well, see, I'm just saying that CNN is the source that tells us that we need to keep sending money over there. They're the same liberal outlets, and if they're the ones who actually, for once, admits the truth and say, wait a sec, this money isn't being used correctly as we expect it to, I actually do believe them when they say that.
I think that's true. However, I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be, and I do think that they're trying hard to root out corruption. They've been Zelensky has been retiring generals and other high-ranking officials for specifically that reason. Another thing is that most of the stuff we're sending to them at whatever cost it may be, we're not sending them money, we're sending them weapons. And a lot of these weapons are things that we would have had to pay money to dispose of because they're already obsolete. We need that resource to be able to build new stuff, which is what we're doing.
But that's still paid by the American taxpayer, though. And we have no choice how we're. Yep, go ahead.
But what we're doing is bolstering our own arsenal with that money. We're sending stuff to Ukraine that we would have had to pay money for to get rid of it. You know, it has to be disarmed and treated in a certain way and all that stuff. It takes a lot of money to do all that. Another thing is that we're watching a war go on. The military, our military, is watching this war go on. They're learning stuff. They're figuring out more stuff about how to use the weapons and strategic things. I mean, you know,
I just don't think that it's in the U.S. interest to watch a war go on and millions of people get killed, and somehow that benefits us with no end in sight. I mean, the only people this benefits, obviously, is the military-industrial complex. I mean, you even said it. We're just spending money to produce more, and the killing continues with no end goal in sight.
That's true. Russia's losing about 1,500 troops a day. I see that as a good thing.
I would like less people to die on both sides.
Okay, well, you're a romantic idealist. I get that. But what we need to do is to help Ukraine get rid of Russia, because if Russia takes Ukraine, they're going to conscript troops from Ukraine. I mean, they have a history of doing this. They take people from their conquered territories and use them as weapons against other territories. So
I've heard that said so many times, but there's just no evidence of that. They can't even take Kyiv. How are they going to take Poland next?
Well, see, that's the problem. Probably the first thing they're going to do is cement their control of Georgia, Moldova, and Belarus. But, you know, I think we're possibly looking at a war that's going to be much bigger than the one we're sort of already in, if that happens, because they're going to replenish their resources to be able to invade NATO territories.
Yeah, I understand that's an argument that people who want to stay in war for as long as possible will use, but there's just simply no evidence of that, Dan. And
well, you're not a historian like I am. I've seen multiple occasions when Russia did precisely that. Winston Churchill advocated with Truman for dropping the third nuclear bomb on Moscow because he foresaw that Russia would come out exactly as it has. And they've been a real thorn in our side for, 70, 80 years?
And relations were so much better when Donald Trump was president, keeping Russia at bay, because he put the sanctions on Russia. Russia wasn't making so much money from all the oil and the Nord Stream pipeline. It's a fact that Russia was struggling, was much more poor under Donald Trump, and the American people elected Donald Trump to not only help America, but to bring world peace. And by bringing world peace, that's going to help everybody, not just here in America, but in the world. And I'm sorry, Dan, I've heard that argument. I don't see any evidence of it. Even with you being a historian, sorry, it's not a reason for more war, in my opinion. But we do have to take a break. Coming up after the break, we're going to speak to Daniel Turner, energy expert, founder and executive director of Power the Future. Is the green new scam over after November 5th? We'll talk with him next.